We're going to start off this section with a wonderful quote from my friend Hugh MacLeod, who he's a cartoonist and actually just released a business book called Ignore Everybody.
And what is this section?
This section is Probable Purchaser.
Okay.
And the quote is, you can see his work at gapingvoid.com. He does all sorts of funny cartoons and writes and all sorts of stuff. But one of the things that he wrote about 6 months ago that struck me as really true is there are 6 billion people on this planet, approaching 7. 99.9999% of them do not want to give you their money. A little depressing, but it's true. It's building something new. It's easy to fall into the trap of everyone is going to want this. This is going to be something that the almost 7 billion people on this planet, they're all going to flock toward. It's the whole, if you build it, they will come, or, build a better mousetrap and the world will beat a path to your door. It's not true. And it's okay that it's not true, because the fact is you don't have to have everyone in the world interested in what you have to offer. You just have to have enough people who care, enough people who want it, enough people who need it. And so Probable Purchaser is a way of defining exactly who are you talking to here. Okay. Couple examples. The probable purchaser of a Harley Davidson motorcycle is what?
You mean like a demographic?
Well, demographics are part of it, but who's the type of person?
Somebody who likes a thrill?
Yeah, so thrill-seeking people, typically guys, typically middle-aged.
Not always. My very, very, very sexy female high school calculus teacher had a Harley. But
True.
Go on.
Okay, but there are exceptions to every rule.
And I'm sure all the middle-aged guys loved it, so go on.
So typically middle-aged guys, typically with higher amounts of disposable income, who actually, and this is the interesting part, typically hold white-collar office jobs and want to, when they're done with their boring job, they want to leave work, they want to put on their leather jacket, and they want to feel like a badass on the evenings and the weekends.
Where did you find that? I love that.
I did some research the other day to figure out where does most of Harley's revenue come from. And, call it, awesome. This is actually used in the Harley community a little bit as a pejorative, but is accurate, call it the weekend warrior.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
The person who really just wants to, feel like a big, strong, tough guy riding around on his Harley, even though in his daily life he may be an accountant at a large financial firm.
Nice.
So that's the probable purchaser of a Harley Davidson. Okay. So if Harley is wanting to appeal to someone, that's the type of people who are interested.
Yeah.
And they focus, so they go around, they go to bike shows, they go to, all these things, because that's where these types of people are going to.
Spending their time.
And finding information to fill this particular need. Okay? Now, second audience, who watches Oprah?
Everyone.
And no, everyone does not watch Oprah.
Well, I know a lot of 20s and 30s women and gay men.
Who want to do what? What are they interested in?
Everything. I don't really know about this. It's just a lot of people I know, so I'm sure you'll tell me who they are.
There's actually two things.
Okay.
People who really like to watch or hear emotional stories, which is a huge theme of Oprah's show.
Okay.
These intimate, emotional confession type of things. And then also, the tagline that they use, which is very descriptive for their probable purchaser, is live your best life. It's a self-improvement show.
Okay.
So it's a lot of stories about, emotionally intense things and a lot of advice about how to make your life better. And so it's typically younger to middle-aged women who are interested in those two particular things, which actually ends up being a huge audience, which is why Oprah is one of the most influential shows, if not the most influential show on TV.
For a little while, until she starts her own network. Then who knows? Take over the world.
And she was successful enough that she is now building her own network out of this, because there are so many people in this particular demographic who are interested in these particular things that it's worth it for her to do that. So that's Oprah's probable purchaser. Now, what would happen if Harley Davidson goes, you know what? Oprah, man, she is like so influential. We want to get her audience. We totally want to advertise to the people who are watching Oprah. Let's say they shoot like a 90-second long form commercial about the thrill of the road, and they put it like right on the middle of primetime Oprah.
I would like go get my tea during the commercial, I think.
Exactly. And why?
Well, I mean, for me, it's not my thing.
Yeah. It's a receptivity thing.
Yeah.
You're not the probable purchaser for Harley Davidson. So no matter how much Harley Davidson tries, they're not going to reach you. You don't care.
Right.
Same thing for Oprah. Okay. Let's say, Oprah magazine goes to one of these bike shows and sets up a tent.
Yeah.
And tries to get people, who are attending these shows to watch Oprah.
Weekend warriors have wives.
That's
it could
true.
work.
But, it's not the audience.
True.
Okay? So that's a good example of probable purchaser.
Okay.
It's okay for Oprah that not everyone in the world is interested in what she has to say. That's fine, because she has more than enough.
She's doing okay.
She's doing fine. Same thing for Harley. It's okay if the people who watch Oprah don't buy Harley Davidson because they have enough of an audience in their probable purchaser set that it'll be fine. So, attempting to appeal to everyone is always a waste of time and money.
Makes sense.
Because you can't do it. And really, you don't even want to do it. Because it's time intensive, it's expensive, and it's not effective because a large percentage of the people you're reaching don't care. That's exactly why, things like television advertising are becoming, a thing of the past, much less effective, because you're still only reaching just a small percentage of the people who actually care. Yeah. And it's so expensive that little percent probably is not worth the cost. So whatever you're offering from a value standpoint, it always pays to ask the question, who is your probable purchaser? What is the type of person who may be interested in buying this? What are they looking at? What do they want? What do they need? Where do they hang out? And the more comprehensive a picture you're able to build about the types of people who want what you're offering, the more you can actually start thinking about, okay, if these are the people I want to be reaching, how can I spend most of my time and attention from a marketing standpoint talking to them and them alone? Right. And ignoring everybody else, because everybody else doesn't matter.
Now, if we are not Oprah or Harley and we don't necessarily, I kind of know what my market's going to be, but I could be wrong. Yeah. Do we talk about how to test?
Yes. And that's a lot of the experimentation stuff that we talked about in value creation applies to marketing as well. Okay. So you can always test, and typically when you're testing these things, do it with a smaller audience first. And what you're gauging here is the intensity of the emotional reaction people have to what you offer.
Which is kind of receptivity, right?
Which is receptivity. Okay. So essentially, by definition, your probable purchasers are your most receptive customers. So if receptivity is your biggest barrier, it makes sense that the limited time and energy and money you have to devote to marketing, spend most of that or all of that time focusing on people who are actually going to be receptive. Yes. And those are your probable purchasers. So the more you can define or diagram or figure out who exactly your probable purchaser is, then the more effective your marketing will be.
Okay.